This is an example of a man in his 70s who came with cancer of the throat. He said he had no problems. However, I soon found that he had many traumas in his life. His father had been chairman of the Conservative Party, whereas he was a communist. He was Palestinian, but his sympathies were pro-Jewish. In the Second World War, he'd seen many men being seriously injured. He'd seen tanks being blown up. He'd seen his colonel signing papers, sending people to concentration camp without any justification. I felt he was a proud, arrogant man with a terrifying sense of justice. Throughout the session, he expressed no emotions, but I sensed a huge rage and fury and injustice within him, a sense of injustice. He told me I had no opportunity to express my outrage and my hurt. I used my tongue, I used sarcasm. Then he quietly showed his sensitivity. He said, "Where is love in this world? Anywhere?" He told me, the 74-year-old man, that when he was 19, he'd had a 7-month relationship with a younger woman who had then left him. He said, "It stuck in my throat," which is where his cancer was. I don't think he realized what he was saying, but this is very common.
So how we could take this story together?
What can we learn from it?
What we can learn, or how we can explain it, or take it a little bit open. As I see, it's if you can't express your emotions, it gets stuck in somewhere. Where exactly?
Well, the word emotion literally means outward motion. And if you don't express outward emotion, if you don't express the energy of emotion, it only has one place to go, and that is to embody it. So the energy, if not expressed, gets embodied. It creates mental and emotional densities within the life force that streams through and around the physical body. And there's an ancient Tibetan definition of disease, which I love and feel is valid, that disease is frustrated soul life, where the soul can't express through the physical body with ease because of the mental and emotional densities that get in the way.
Mm.
And that's a very beautiful definition, I feel. But I only found it after I'd left conventional orthodox Western medicine.
Mm.
But I've found it to be a very true statement of, in general, how disease occurs and happens.
Mm.
And of course, once you've got an emotional mental block in your energy field, in the life force, it interferes with the whole physiology of the human being. With the blood supply, the nerve supply of nerve impulses, with digestion, excretion, it interferes with hormone secretion, effects of stress are now well documented
Mm-hmm.
by orthodox science.
So if we don't say it out, it will pile up in somewhere, and
Yes,
it creates
yes.
a different type of form, or
Express or embody. It's as simple as that. And of course, the Christian culture that I was brought up in was felt it was very wrong to express anger. But if you can own your anger, I feel really angry because so and so and so and so. If you can own your feelings, rather than say, I am, there's a big difference between saying I am anger and I am feeling anger. When you say I'm feeling angry, it's almost as though there are two things. There's the I and the feeling. And that's a healthy recognition. It's healthy to realise you are angry, but don't identify with it. Don't make it your identity.
Don't take it with you.
Don't take it with you. Just witness it. Yeah, I have feelings of anger, jealousy, resentment, but I am not those feelings.
I just realized something. I think it's not exactly proper way to say it out, but I kind of came to conclusion that then people who's smashing up their apartment, it's a protection to not to get cancer. Well, it's a weird way of saying it, but if you express yourself out, maybe it's not the nicest way to deal with your anger, but you kind of are protecting yourself, not the storage in your body.
Well, it is in a way, except of course, while they're smashing up their apartment,
They
are identifying with it. They are anger. They are rage. They haven't got
rid of it.
They're not the witness to it. Sitting here, I can witness this piece of sculpture. Sitting here, I can witness my anger, that I am angry. But in the act of smashing up the apartment, you're not
denying.
There's no gap between the self and the anger. Yes, it's healthy to recognise your feelings, to witness them objectively, without judgment, without criticism. In spite of what some religions say, there's a lovely statement in the Book of Miracles. I've forgotten the proper name for it. A Course in Miracles, well-known book. It says the day of last judgment is the day you stop judging yourself. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Simple.
So simple. Yeah. And yet our conditioning, and once again I think religion is unfortunately very much behind this, is at a very young age. Our conditioning, our culture is society.
We are not allowed to express our emotions.
Well, but what I was going to say, that's true, but especially we judge ourselves, we criticize ourselves.
And others. Yeah, there is...
In a way, there are no mistakes, it's all learning. It's all learning.
Very long time society in this way that if it's not like me, it's wrong. If it's
yes,
not like me, then
yes,
it must be wrong.
yes, yes, yes.
So, and it creates
Or if I'm not like
you.
everybody else,
Hmm.
I am wrong.
Exactly.
But
But it's a way of study, and
we're each unique.
it's unique. There is no wrong.
Humanity, I think, is on its greatest time of evolutionary history as the level of consciousness rises to a level we haven't reached before, which is more to do with love rather than sacrifice and judgment and so I do feel things are going to change for the better. But maybe we need to look at more what this example teaches us, because I don't think he realized that here he was with cancer of the throat. He'd blocked his self-expression. He could not express any emotions. And when he realized, when he told me about his first relationship in life and the girl had left him, he said, "It's stuck in my throat." And I've noticed this again and again and again. People with a disease will, the phrase they use is the body speaking its mind. It's stuck in my throat, and that's where the disease is. The body speaks its mind very literally, and I think very often it's so simple and it's so literal, the body speaking its mind, that when we doctors are trained so intellectually, to the exclusion of feelings and intuition, which are higher faculties than intellect. Intellect's important, we need it, it's a useful tool, but I've rather lost track of what I was saying. Can you help me here?
I said we're need intellectual as well, but we are lost of track of intuition.
Yes.
And body speaks its mind.
Yes. Yes, and it's so simple that I feel the intellectually trained doctors, like I was trained, it's hard for the intellect to comprehend that it can be so simple a fact that the body speaks its mind. So that symptoms, and symptoms are what the person complains of when they go to the doctor, signs are the physical signs of the disease that the doctor finds on examination. So at the moment, orthodox medicine uses chemicals to suppress the symptoms and then removes the signs with poisoning with chemotherapy or irradiating or cutting it out or laser treatment or something similar. But generally, overall, very, very rarely do we look for the underlying causes, which I believe, and many people are reaching the same conclusion, are very largely start with mental and emotional. Mental, because what we hold in our mind affects the body as an emotion. If we don't express the emotion, it can only be embodied. If the energy is embodied, it creates blocks in the life force, densities in the energy field, which block the physiological workings of the body and create disease. So fundamentally, there's a very simple logical, rational explanation of so much of disease. And if this simple route were used, I mean, the Bristol Cancer Help Centre started using it way back in certainly the early 80s, which is what, 40 years ago now. It's way over time that orthodox medicine caught up and went forward with this idea that everything is energy. The physical body is dense energy. Mm-hmm. It's on the end of mind and emotions.